So you've done a lot of volunteer work over the years.
Yeah, there's some good things about a husband that didn't particularly want you to work. And I got to pick and choose.
And you could change as the years went on.
That's right.
So I've asked about working outside home for pay. No. So what led to your decisions about volunteer involvement? How did you choose which ones you wanted to be?
If somebody asked and I was interested, I probably said yes. If I was not interested, I had no difficulty saying no.
As a volunteer, did you ever run into problems with gender inequality?
Probably not. Oh, I'd say not.
Do you remember any moments in your life that issue became strong or that it stood out to you?
No.
I wonder.
Not in relation to myself. But then I'm usually fairly good at holding my own.
I'm hearing that as a theme, actually.
Could probably give you a few people that would say, oh yes.
Did you find it as a mother or on behalf of your daughters? Any issues with gender inequality?
No, both of my girls are quite independent.
So what leadership responsibilities have you carried in the church over the years?
I taught Sunday school. I chaired the Pastoral Relations Committee. No, forget, I did, but before that I chaired the worship committee in my own congregation. And then I was conned into going to a presbytery meeting by an elderly gentleman in our congregation who was well known in the wider church, Jared Betts, who told me there was a program he thought I'd like to hear and that he'd buy me dinner. So I went. And he did that a couple of times, and when the next annual report came in, I noted that I'd been put down as the alternative.
That's so United Church.
Is it not?
Oh my
Only
gosh.
at that point I didn't quite pick up on that. Anyway, so I had been a member of the presbytery for a year. I became its chair in 1989, right after 1988, so that was a fun year.
Oh, yes.
And then when I was finished chairing the presbytery, I became the pastoral relations convener for a number of years.
How long were you presbytery chair?
I think in those years we had a 2-year term, but I could be wrong. I think it was a 2-year term.
And then pastoral
relations seemed like forever, but I have no idea how long.
What was your favorite position?
I don't know, and I also did education and students. I don't know if I really had a favorite position. I like working with people, so I don't know that I'd say there was
one favorite?
No.
So then
the least favorite would probably be the chair.
So then after education and students, you moved into the candidacy pathway and MEPS.
Actually, I was elected as a lay rep to the General Council Executive. So I served on that for 6 years.
When was that?
Oh my, probably 2003, give or take. I probably could check.
That's okay. When you get the transcripts, you could throw it
I
in.
could have a look, see if I could come up. Yes, so I served as rep for 6 years,
Okay.
2 3-year terms.
What was that like?
Actually, I found it a positive experience. Despite often the reputation of the wider church that about the church back east or the general council, as you hear it expressed, I found it a positive experience.
Something
People were committed to what they were doing, both staff and lay people, or staff and volunteers, some very committed staff. And as I've been known to remind the conference during that time, that decisions are not made by the staff. The decisions were always made by the elected members. And for many years, BC had the most volunteers involved in national committees than any conference.
Wow.
So I don't know that I had a favorite. Least would be chairman of Presbytery.
Why would that be your least?
I had to be nice.